Imagine you're at a networking event.
Right. A
Okay.
classic situation.
Yeah, and you walk up to someone, you smile, and you ask, "What is your job?"
Oh, well, yeah.
And suddenly they just step back, they look at you like you're a police officer shining a really bright flashlight right in their face.
Exactly. The whole friendly energy just disappears instantly.
Right. It's gone. So, what went wrong there?
Well, it's a great question. And honestly, it happens all the time to people learning English.
I mean, the words were perfectly clear, right? They understood you.
Yeah, the words were understood, but uh, the tone just missed the mark completely.
Mm.
And when we talk about work in a new language, tone is literally everything.
Tone is everything. I like that. And that interaction is exactly what we're looking at today. So, welcome to the deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
Our mission today is to help you, our listener, master one of the most basic, fundamental interactions in the English language.
Yeah, how to talk about your job.
Exactly. We're pulling our insights today from a really practical English learning lesson. It focuses on the exact formulas, the right questions, and the common mistakes to avoid.
Because asking about work, it's usually one of the very first things people do when they meet someone new.
Right. It's basically universal.
Yeah, it's not just swapping data. It's how people try to find common ground.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because this deep dive is tailored specifically for you as an English learner, we're going to take things at a nice, easy pace today.
A relaxed pace is perfect for this.
Right. We are avoiding any heavy, complicated slang. We're keeping the vocabulary very clear.
Because, you're an adult navigating real professional and social situations.
Exactly. And we want to give you the cultural why behind these rules, not just, a boring textbook list to memorize.
Yeah, understanding the why is what actually builds your confidence when you speak.
Right. Because when you know why a native speaker chooses one phrase over another, you stop guessing.
Exactly. You stop guessing and you start connecting. And that connection starts the second you ask the very first question.
Yeah. So before you even explain your own career, you need to know how to break the ice.
Right. You're at that party
Yeah.
or maybe in a coffee shop and you want to start a conversation.
And the source material highlights that the absolute best, most natural question to ask is simply, what do you do?
Just what do you do? It's just 4 little words.
Other words, yeah.
But, it does a lot of heavy lifting culturally.
Okay, let's go back to that flashlight analogy from the beginning.
The police officer one.
Right. A really common mistake learners make is asking, what is your job?
Yes. We hear that a lot.
But if I think about it, what is your job and what do you do mean the exact same thing on paper.
Grammatically, sure.
Right. If both are grammatically correct, why does one feel like offering a friendly cup of coffee and the other feels like a police interrogation?
Well, the difference is really entirely about how much space you give the other person.
Space? What do you mean?
Like, what is your job?
Yeah.
Is a very closed, very specific question. It demands a title right then and there.
Oh, I see.
It kind of assumes the person's entire identity is tied to their paycheck.
Ah, so it forces them into a box.
Exactly, you're demanding a label. But what do you do is delightfully open-ended. It leaves lots of room for interpretation.
Right.
In modern English-speaking cultures, someone might answer that question by saying, I'm an accountant.
Sure.
But they also have the absolute freedom to say, I'm a full-time parent, or I volunteer at an animal shelter, or even I'm a student.
Wow. So it's an invitation to share how they spend their time.
Yeah, rather than a strict demand for their employment status.
That makes a lot of sense. You're basically giving them the steering wheel for the conversation.
Exactly. You let them drive.
So, okay, you've asked the friendly question, or someone has asked it to you. The ice is broken.
Right.
Now, you have to answer. You have to tell the world who you are.
And this brings us to the identity statement.
Right.
And this is where one of the most persistent, tricky little grammatical traps hides for English learners.
Yes, the basic formula is very straightforward. You say, I am a, followed by your job title.
So I am a teacher, or I am a doctor.
But the rule states you have to pay really close attention to the first sound of your job title.
The first sound, yeah, that's key.
Right. If it starts with a consonant sound, like a T, a C, or a D, you use A.
Because you would say a teacher, a chef, a driver.
Okay. But if your job title starts with a vowel sound, like A, E, I, O, or U, you must use N.
Right. So I am an engineer, I am an artist, I am an accountant.
Okay, I have to push back here for a second.
Go ahead.
Let's be honest. If I'm a beginner, right?
Yeah.
And I walk up to someone and just say, I am a teacher, skipping the A completely.
Yeah.
They will absolutely understand me. My point gets across perfectly.
That is completely true. They will understand you.
So why should a learner stress over tiny little words like A or N? Doesn't obsessing over these microgrammar rules just, I don't know, make people afraid to speak at all?
I mean, it's a really fair point.
Yeah.
And the goal is never to paralyze you with a fear of making mistakes.
Right. We want you to speak.
Exactly. And you're right. If you say, I am teacher, the listener absolutely knows your profession.
So why does it matter?
Because skipping those little articles is the loudest signal that you are a beginner.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not just about grammatical correctness. It's about the physical rhythm of spoken English.
What do you mean by physical rhythm?
Well, English is a language of connected speech. Native speakers don't say words as isolated, choppy blocks.
Like robots.
Right. Not like robots. So they link words together like music. And those words, a and, they function as bridges.
Oh, okay. I think I see where you're going.
Yeah, so when you say, I am an artist, a native speaker actually hears it as one long sound, I am an artist.
Oh, wow. The N connects directly to the...
Exactly. So when you drop those tiny words, the sentence feels very choppy. It literally breaks the rhythm of the conversation.
That's a huge insight. So those tiny words are the glue holding the musical flow of the sentence together.
Yes, exactly. Glue is a great word for it.
So mastering that flow instantly makes you sound more comfortable and fluent.
Absolutely.
Now, what happens if you don't have a traditional job title? Adult learners have complex lives.
You're true.
Sometimes you're unemployed or transitioning to a new career or studying.
And our sources offer some very practical solutions for this too.
Okay, like what?
Well, if you are currently out of work, you want to frame it positively. You can simply say, I am looking for a job right now.
I am looking for a job right now. That feels very honest.
It is. It's honest, it's forward-looking, and it doesn't sound defensive at all.
And if you're going back to school, you just say, I am a student.
Right. But the source material notes something really interesting here.
What's that?
Just saying, I am a student, and stopping there can sometimes kill the conversation.
Oh, really? It's a dead end.
It can be a bit of a dead end, yeah.
Yeah.
They suggest always adding one specific detail about what you're doing right now.
Adding a detail. That's a classic networking strategy, right?
It really is. So instead of that dead end, you could say, I am a student, and I am preparing for a speech competition right now.
Oh, that's good.
Or, I am a student and I'm studying graphic design.
Right. You give them the hook. You give them a reason to say, oh, a speech competition. Tell me about your topic.
Exactly. It keeps the ball in the air.
Okay, so moving on. Once someone understands the title you hold, their brain naturally tries to put you in a physical space.
They want to set the scene. Where are you doing this job?
Right. Which leads us to the next phase of the conversation, navigating prepositions.
Prepositions, yeah.
The tiny words that cause massive headaches for every learner. Words like at, for, and in.
They really are tricky.
Let's look at the specific rules our sources outline for the workplace. Rule number 1. You use at or for when you say the name of a company.
So, I work at Google.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I work for Google.
Both are correct.
Both are totally correct.
Okay. Rule number 2. You use in when you were talking about a type of place or building.
So, I work in an office, I work in a hospital, or I work in a school.
Which brings us to the major mistake learners make. Our sources say you should never say, I work in Google or I work in Apple.
Right. Never say that.
But wait, why? To a learner, the company is the place where they go every day. Why can't I be in it?
Because English distinguishes between the corporate entity and the physical architecture.
The corporate entity.
Yeah, like Google is a brand. It's a legal organization. It's not a physical box.
Oh, I get it. Think of it like this. Imagine the words at and for as the brand logo printed on your paycheck.
Yes, that's a perfect way to look at it.
Right. They represent the business entity that pays your salary. You work for the brand.
Exactly.
But the word in represents the actual physical roof over your head, the bricks, the windows. You sit in a building.
Yeah. If you tell a native speaker, I work in Apple, their brain creates a slightly funny, very literal image.
Like you're inside a giant piece of fruit.
Exactly. It sounds like you are physically trapped inside an apple.
That's hilarious.
So remember, you work for the tech company, but you work in a building.
That distinction really clears it up. Brand identity versus physical reality.
Yes.
And of course, the physical reality for many people today has completely changed. We have to address remote work.
We do. The modern workplace is often just a laptop on a kitchen table.
Right. So if you don't commute to an office, the standard phrase is simply, I work from home.
Notice the preposition there, from.
Yeah. You don't work at home or in home in this context. You work from home.
It implies your home is the base where your work originates.
Okay, so your conversation partner now has your title and your location.
The natural next step is to understand your daily grind.
What do you actually do from 9 to 5?
And this is where I see learners freeze up all the time.
Really?
Because they start mentally searching for the most complicated vocabulary they know.
Oh, I see that.
Like if you are a salesperson, you might think you need to say, I facilitate customer transactions.
Wow, that sounds intense.
It does. But our sources stress a very different strategy here. Just use simple present tense verbs.
Okay, like what?
If you are a programmer, the source suggests saying, I write code and I build websites.
Simple.
Very simple. If you are a chef, I cook food and I design menus.
Nice.
Or if you sell clothes, just say, I help customers and I sell clothes.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting to me. Because I think a lot of adult learners feel pressure here.
What kind of pressure?
Well, when you are operating in a second language, you want to sound intelligent, right? You want people to respect you.
Of course.
Won't I sound basic or uneducated if I just say, I help people, instead of using advanced corporate jargon?
It's a very common fear.
Mm.
But it's based on a total misunderstanding of how native speakers actually communicate in casual settings.
Real?
Yeah. Native English speakers actually really dislike heavy corporate jargon outside of formal meetings.
Oh, so they don't want to hear it at a party.
Not at all. It sounds stiff and robotic.
Like you're reading a resume out loud at a dinner party?
Precisely. In English, clarity is confidence.
Clarity is confidence. I love that.
Yeah. Using simple verbs like I write, I cook, I build, it shows that you are comfortable enough in the language to just state the facts clearly.
That makes total sense.
Someone who is truly an expert in their field doesn't need to hide behind complicated vocabulary. They can explain their job simply.
That takes a massive weight off the learner's shoulders, I think.
I'll hope so. You really don't need a thesaurus to be respected. Just use basic action verbs.
Speaking of actions, there is a fundamental rule in our sources regarding two very specific words.
Yes. Job and work.
Learners mix these up constantly.
They do. And it's because in many languages, the concept translates to the exact same word.
Right.
But in English, they operate very differently. Job is a noun. It is a specific, countable position.
Countable, so I can have 1, 2, or 3 of them.
Exactly. You can say, I have a job, or she has 3 jobs. It is the title or the slot you fill in the economy.
Okay. But work is usually an action or an uncountable concept.
That's right. It's the universal human effort you put into something.
So think about the underlying logic. Job comes from an old concept of a specific task or a piece of work.
Yeah. But work is the actual energy you expend.
Therefore, you say, I go to work. You're going to perform the action.
Yes. You never, ever say, I go to job.
I have a job, but I go to work.
That's the perfect way to remember it.
The job is the thing you possess. The work is the effort you give.
If you lock that concept into your brain, you eliminate one of the biggest red flags for a non-native speaker.
Fantastic. So we've covered the mechanics of the conversation, the title, the location, the daily tasks.
Right. The facts are out of the way.
At this point in a real-world interaction, the exchange usually shifts from factual information to emotional sharing.
The emotional review.
Right. This is where the casual networking shifts into building a deeper personal connection. People naturally want to know how you feel about your daily grind.
And sharing positive feelings is usually pretty straightforward.
Yeah, you just say you like it.
Exactly. You can use simple phrases like, I love my job, or I really enjoy my work.
But the key to keeping the conversation flowing is adding a brief because.
Right. Yes. Giving a reason makes it a real conversation.
So, I enjoy my job because I like my coworkers.
Perfect. Or, I love my work because every day is different. It paints a picture of your environment.
But what happens when the reality isn't so positive?
Right.
What if you are just really unhappy with what you do?
Well, navigating negative emotions in a professional or even a casual English-speaking environment is, it's a delicate social dance.
A social dance!
Yeah. The source material strongly warns against using harsh statements like, I hate my job.
This is a fascinating cultural insight for me. If I really do hate my job, why shouldn't I just say that? What's the danger?
The danger is completely shutting down the conversation.
Really? Just from saying I hate it?
Yeah. In many English-speaking cultures, there is an unwritten rule about keeping initial social interactions relatively light.
Okay, I see.
If you say, "I hate my job," it's a conversational dead end. It puts the other person in a really awkward position.
Right, because they don't know how to respond without making things heavier.
Exactly. It's like slamming a door in their face. It's just too aggressive for a casual chat.
So what's the alternative? The sources provide a strategy for complaining politely, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Instead of, "I hate my job," you use softer phrases focusing on the conditions.
The conditions, like what?
You say something like, "My job is very stressful,"
Yeah.
or "The hours are very long."
Oh, look at the difference in the psychology there.
It's subtle, but important.
You are still expressing frustration, but you are blaming the external conditions, the hours, the stress.
Right. Rather than making a blanket negative statement about the whole experience.
It leaves the door open.
Exactly.
If I say, the hours are very long, the other person can easily say, oh, I know how that feels. Do you have to work weekends?
Yes. You've invited them to share sympathy.
You are bonding over a shared struggle without bringing a dark cloud into the room.
It's the art of polite negativity.
Polite negativity. I need to write that down.
It really shows high social intelligence in English. You can express dissatisfaction while still keeping the interaction pleasant and socially manageable.
That is such a vital skill for anyone trying to build relationships in a new language. You don't have to pretend everything is perfect.
No, not at all.
You just have to frame it in a way that invites connection rather than awkward silence.
Exactly. And, well, we've traveled through the entire arc of this common interaction now.
We really have. From the initial question to the emotional nuance. Let's do a quick recap to solidify these concepts for you.
Think of this as your mental checklist before your next networking event or social gathering.
Okay, first, remember the musical rhythm of your identity statement. Don't drop those tiny articles.
Right. I am an artist. I am a teacher.
Second, visualize the difference between the brand and the building. You work at or for the logo on your paycheck, but you sit in an office.
Never say you work in a company name.
Third, don't hide behind jargon. Use simple, clear verbs to describe your day. I write, I sell, I help.
And remember the philosophical difference between your title and your effort. You have a job, but you go to work.
Finally, remember the social dance of the emotional review. If you need to complain, do it politely.
Keep the conversational door open by focusing on the conditions, like long hours, rather than harsh blanket statements.
Learning to talk about your job in a second language isn't just a vocabulary test.
Oh, it's so much more.
It's really about translating your adult professional identity into a new cultural context.
It's a big step.
And that brings up a really interesting final thought.
What's that?
When you are forced to strip away all the complex corporate jargon of your native language, well, when you have to distill your busy, complicated career into just 2 or 3 simple English verbs,
Yeah.
do you start to see your own career differently?
Oh, wow. That's a deep question.
Does reducing your job to simple actions like I help people or I build things remind you of what actually matters in your work?
I think so. Stripping away the noise often reveals the core value of what we really do.
Definitely something to ponder as you prepare for your next introduction. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive,
Keep putting these ideas into practice.
and we'll see you next time.